Welcome to some Pioneer. We're going to try some Sultai Delirium. This is a deck list I got from Reed Duke. He was playing mostly this exact deck list in, I think, one of the Pioneer preliminaries challenges. I'm not sure exactly the structure of competitive play on MTGO these days. But after I played some pretty aggressive decks last stream, I was interested in doing something a bit more up my alley, a bit more mid-rangey. This looked like a really fun deck. The only change I've made is I've swapped out 4 ley lines for 4 Tormod script, and that's entirely because of the limits of renting online. Euro is like $70, 70 tickets for a single one, and renting 4 takes up nearly the entirety of my budget, so I didn't have room for the Euros and for the Ley Lines of the Void. But I actually think Tormod script is probably fine anyways. It's an artifact that you can put in your graveyard to help with Delirium. I'm not too certain what all the graveyard decks are in the format post-ban. But I feel like Tormod script is probably going to be okay. We'll see if it comes back to bite us. So we're just gonna, this is the deck list. We're just gonna go ahead and hop right in. I think I may have played against this deck in one of the leagues I was playing on Monday. I saw a bunch of the one-ofs like the Atris, the Ishkana, the Emrakul. I think also some Shark Typhoon. Also Eat to Extinction, which struck me as a kind of interesting inclusion, but I suspect that whoever I was playing against was also using that. I just realized that there may be no audio. I hope you're able to hear me. Testing, testing. Let me... Well. If there's any problems, I hope someone will let me know. This seems like a fine hand. We're going to have to get our blue tapped. But that's fine. This might be the mono green Stompy list that I was looking at a bit earlier. I was actually thinking of playing that. It's basically a mono green Stompy list, but it also runs black for Rotting Regisar. So, because we don't have an untapped blue source, we're going to have to get tapped blue at some point. I would like to play Jason too, but I'm worried that maybe we will need to Thoughtseize a threat now or soon, because our opponent could just play a Steelix champion, which we would have an answer to. Given that we would have an answer to it, I think I can just go ahead and play the Fable Passage. And decide next turn whether I want to play the Jace or the Thoughtseize. Ooh, Woodland Cemetery coming in tapped. That means I think we get to dodge a threat for this turn. And, okay. We'll get our island here. Our island here. And island here. Okay. Ideally, we'll be able to Abrupt Decay our opponent's first threat, but the fact that our opponent will have access to up to 5 mana next turn means that we might not be able to Abrupt Decay it. So I'm kind of leaning towards Thoughtseizing this turn. It means we don't get the Jace out until the turn after, but I think it's a little safer. Also, our opponent's only on 3 cards, so it's entirely possible that we Thoughtseize the only relevant threat. Yeah, see, here we get to take this Ronus, which is indestructible, and we would not be able to take it with the Abrupt Decay, so that's good. And we are left with this Primal Might, which is sort of a fight. It's sort of a prey upon, but can also pump the creature by a lot. And it looks like our opponent may have just... Oh, they're just playing the Lovestruck Beast. That's fine, we have an Abrupt Decay for that. We can also just take a hit from it if we want to Uro this turn, or Jace. We'll figure that out. This is 3 Jaces. Unfortunately, because we got this island, we would have to shock in order to Abrupt Decay. But I don't really want to take 8. I guess if we played the Jace, we would only take 7 because we could block a 1/1. But I really think we need to get this 5/5 off the field. So we'll just pass. Okay, nothing doing, nothing doing. We will go ahead and kill the Lovestruck Beast. Take 3. If our opponent has no follow-up, we're at 10. Yep. We're not in too bad of a place here. I'd really like to get this Jace in play so we can start looting away these other Jaces that we don't really need. Jace also blocks and saves us a bit of life. It's a little mana inefficient, because I'd really like to play the Uro and hopefully get another land into play. But I think we really just need to try to draw into some action here. This is just a Primal Might. Sure. So we're going to take a hit here. Our opponent is leaving up... Is that like Veil of Summer or something? I'm not sure what that's for. It's just not a lot of else. Okay. So, our opponent is empty-handed. If we go up to 7, we would go down to 3. But I would really like to get another land into play. I think I'd really... I think at this point we can't really mess around with trying to get a Jason to play. I think we're just going to gain some life. If we draw a fetch... No, we don't have a fetch. If I'm too stuck in modern land where we can have fetch lands. This could just be another Primal Might. That's a Galta. Okay. Well, that's not good. What sort of answers do we have to a Galta? Don't know that we really have any. I think we can cycle a Shark Typhoon and try to draw into something. There's a Neat to Extinction that eats it, but we don't have enough mana to do that. So we appear to be dead. Just for my own notification, was there anything else we could have done about a Galta? Oh, we could have hit a Murderous Rider, but again, we wouldn't have had land for that. We could have hit Heartless Act. That's what we could have hit. Heartless Act. Okay. So, Green Stompy. Cry of the Carnarium could hit a bunch of 1/1s, which might be okay, but I think we're more interested in just hitting their big, splashy creatures. They actually have a decent amount of 3 CMC things. Steel Leaf Champions, and such that we're interested in here with Abrupt Decay, and also Rotting Regisaur. So that's a perfectly viable removal spell. Assassin Trophy will hit everything. Don't think Legion's End is what we want. We don't need that. We don't really need to be hitting their graveyard. I don't think we need to be duressing them. Okay, is anything bad? Leonardo's -3 might actually not even be enough to hit the things we care about. Although it could hit a Ronus, which is kind of a plus, so that's a maybe. Fatal Push is actually a little sketchy. It'll hit Llanowar Elves and such, but it's not gonna... we're gonna have a hard time, I think, setting up the Revolt. I could see cutting maybe a little bit of top end. I could see cutting a Shark Typhoon. Yeah, actually I don't think Shark Typhoon's that great. Our opponent's playing really big threats, and being able to Shark Typhoon for a large enough amount to be able to brawl with the sorts of threats our opponent is making is difficult. So I think those can come out, and as far as one more cut... I think just cut an Emrakul. I don't think the trigger is going to be as relevant as it would be against a lot of decks. I mean, it's a 13/13 blocker, but our opponent is mostly just running lots of big creatures, and it's hard to do something rude to them with that. This hand has some... Oh no, this is a Zagoth Triumph. I thought this was a the fetch land for a second. So this is fine. We can go either Jace or Scavenging Ooze or Thoughtseize on turn 2. We do need to draw lands, so that makes me more inclined to want to play the Jace. But I think you have to keep hands like this. This is just sort of the what you sign up for when you play a mid-range deck. You're going to have hands like this that, I mean... You know, I would really like to have a Fatal Push to Fatal Push their Llanowar Elf, but reality is we don't. Wayfinder is interesting. I think I want to play Jace first, and then next turn I can play Wayfinder and then loot with Jace, and then do something maybe? We'll see. For now we're going to play this. Again, it would be nice to be able to Thoughtseize. I don't think we have that luxury on turn 2. We also have an E2 Extinction that can get at least the first threat their opponent plays out. So here's a Steel Leaf Champion. We can take a hit or two from that. There's also a Fatal Push. So this will actually work. Yeah, because Jace will leave play and then return to the battlefield. So if we can play Satyr Wayfinder, loot with Jace. If Satyr Wayfinder finds an untapped black source, then we can push the Steel Leaf Champion. We're definitely playing the Satyr Wayfinder anyway because we want to try to hit any land, because we don't have any lands. We really like an untapped black source. Yep, I guess it's Swamp. I would like to be getting... Oh, but now... Now we can't actually flip the Jace because we took that card. Okay. So change of plans then. What we're going to do is we're going to Thoughtseize instead, and we can make the flip Jace to activate Revolt next turn. But that means that I want to loot with Jace right now, because I don't actually want Jace to flip until next turn. So we're going to loot. We want that island. I think that we can bin an Uro. It's awkward that the Swamp does not tap to escape Uro. So in that case, maybe we want to hold it. Scavenging Ooze might... Well, Scavenging Ooze can get to a point where it can block things. I think it's either Uro or Scavenging Ooze. I think we're just not going to have time to mess around with Uro too much in this game. And we'll cast this Thoughtseize. Okay. Okay. So our opponent's Duress can get either the Fatal Push or the Eat. I think that's fine, because then that's... Like, we could take the Duress and have 2 removal spells, but then this is all the time that we have to spend messing around with removal spells. And then our opponent has 3 threats. I think that Surrak is... Well, our opponent also can't cast Surrak right now. We're not going to take the Scrap Heap Scrounger because we can eat it with the Scavenging Ooze. Surak is definitely the scariest, but because it will effectively have haste. But our opponent also can't cast it. Also, if our opponent casts the Steel Champion, they're not casting the Duress. We could also Fatal Push twice next turn. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to take the Surak. If our opponent doesn't draw a land, they play Steel Champion, and we can Fatal Push both of them. If our opponent does draw a land, then they'll play Steel Champion, Duress us, probably take the Fatal Push. Sure. We can still Fatal Push once with Jace next turn. So that's, like, okay-ish. If they take the Eat to Extinction, then we're... Well, no, we're not even worried about Scrap Heap Scoundrel because of the Scavenging Ooze. And they did take the Eat. Okay. Okay, so we're actually really happy with this line. Our opponent has a Scrap Heap Scoundrel left in hand. I think that was a mistake by our opponent to not take the Fatal Push. They're probably just not seeing the line that we're able to take. Okay, so what we can do is we can loot with Jace. I don't think we need all these lands. I'm going to discard... It's a land, I'm not sure which land. I think we'll discard the Triumph. It could be wrong. So now we have this Jason. So now Fatal Push is active, so we can just Fatal Push this. And we can cast this Fatal Push again, and then we can Fatal Push the other one. Then we can play this island untapped. We can cast the Scavenging Ooze, and we're kind of in business. Yep. Scoop. Alright, game 2... Or game 3. I could bring another Scavenging Ooze in. I could actually cut a Fatal Push. There's a lot that Fatal Push doesn't hit. The stuff it hits is good, and it worked out really well that game. Maybe actually take out a Traverse. I'm actually not sure, like, what is Traverse? Like, we can get lands, land instant sorcery creature, with an out to have a Planeswalker. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm not actually too sure what we're hitting Delirium with in this deck. Okay, 4 lands, 2 removal spells. This looks pretty good. We are on the draw, which means that we could kind of get run over, but we have 2 2-mana removal spells. So I actually like what's going on here. We should just be able to... Our opponent will presumably play like a Steely's Champion next turn. We will Abrupt Decay it, I guess. Heartless Act, ooh, Thoughtseize, okay. Gets to eat a removal spell. We still have another one. I'm curious if we should have brought Cry of the Carnarium in. It sweeps up all the Elves, Mystics, Lawnmower Elves. It would have been good game 1, but I think that's just not how things are going to work out most of the time. Tireless Tracker down, so our opponent's going to let us have their removal spells. And a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Okay. Well, the question is, do we want to leave up... I guess we can ask ourselves whether or not we want to leave up... I would like to leave up a removal spell this turn in case our opponent plays something large. I really don't want to have to shock to do it. But that still might be best. Because we're probably going to play Uro next turn, and I would like to be able to snipe whatever they're doing this turn. We're going to go ahead and do it like this. My reasoning kind of is, if we play the island, the only thing we have up is the Heartless Act, and I'd like to save that for... Like, I'd like to have the Abrupt Decay open, because I think it's more likely that we're going to be able to hit something... I think they're more likely to play something this turn that can be Abrupt Decayed, and so I would like to be able to Abrupt Decay it when possible. See, if this is a Steely Champion, that's fine, we're going to Abrupt Decay it. And I want to save the Heartless Act for, like, a Galta, or... I guess Ronus doesn't work, but... so now we're going to play this... I think we're going to play this Uro. It would be nice to develop a Jace. Yeah, Uro is also going to ramp us. This is fine. We will put Breeding Pool into play tapped. We still have a Heartless Act for one more big creature that we might get hit with. Land is coming to play tapped. That's a good sign. Okay. So we're only at 4 cards in graveyard. Jace will help us start putting things in the graveyard. We're at 13, so we're doing okay. I do want to play this Fabled Passage because it'll go to the graveyard. We still need... So next turn we'll have the Fabled Passage and a Loot, but it's still only 4 cards and we need 1 more to escape the arrow. But our opponent's not doing much. We've got a few turns. Rotting Regisaur. Sure, I guess we Heartless Act that. That also puts a card in the graveyard, which is nice. We have blue, blue, green, green. I guess we just want another green. I don't think we need another blue. Fine. Okay, so now we can actually escape this arrow. Cool. Let's loot. We're going to pitch this Swamp because it doesn't tap for Uro. Now we have a Planeswalker. We will shrink the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Oh, I thought we had another card in our graveyard. Yeah, we do. The Swamp just looks kind of invisible. Blue, green, green, blue. Exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are exiling a lot of cards that we could be flashing back with Jace, which is a little awkward. But I think that's okay. Just getting an Uro into play and being able to trigger it repeatedly is pretty solid. 6 mana. 6 mana. Is this the Primal Might? Okay. Well, in that case, we will Fatal Push the Scrap Heap Scrounger, protect our Uro, and win. Cool. 1 match down. Deck has felt good so far. This is 3 lands, 2 removal spells, a Jace. Seems fine to me. Sure. If this is in the graveyard, does it count as a creature and an instant? I don't actually know the answer to that question. What land are we leading on here? We're not casting Traverse, so I guess we just lead on Fable Passage. In terms of what we're fetching, don't really want to play the swamp because it doesn't cast Uro. I guess we don't have any Uros yet, and I would rather not take damage from possible. So I think we take an island, because we're going to play... We're not playing Abrupt Decay this turn, we want to play the Jace. Meanwhile, what is our opponent doing? Is this some sort of Wilderness Wreck deck? I can either Thoughtseize here, or I can play this Jace. I think I would rather get Jace rolling. What are we going to discard with the Jace? I'm kind of thinking Traverse. I've never really played a Traverse deck, so I'm not entirely sure how to value it. Like, on the one hand, it looks kind of like it might be kind of hard to turn on, but I guess we have instant sorcery, creature, and land all kind of ready to go. Perhaps we will Thoughtseize our opponent first, and then decide based on that. What sort of counter magic am I worried about? Mana Leak, which... Mana Leak's not Pioneer. I'm thinking our opponent is like either Simic Flash... This is just sort of some Simic Flash deck. Okay. So Shark Typhoon is basically... Shark Typhoon is a big creature that draws a card and is uncounterable, but we don't run counter spells. Torrential Gearhulk is a big creature that casts a spell. And so I would rather kill the thing that is a big creature that casts a spell than the thing that is just a big creature. So I'm going to take the Torrential Gearhulk. And then our opponent has a Shark Typhoon, which we need to make sure we're careful about, but otherwise they don't really have much going on yet. We're going to loot with Jace. Probably discarding one of these extra lands. Yeah, we have 3 breeding pools. We can discard a breeding pool, and we can play a breeding pool. There's nothing we could do to leave up Abrupt Decay because of the basic lands we have. So there's no reason to try to play anything untapped. Or we'll play the Fatal Passive the next turn because it'll be untapped. Opponent played a Castle Vantress. They have 1 unknown card. I could flip to Jace this turn by, like, traversing, but that seems bad, and I'd actually rather just keep looting away these lands, so I'm happy to not flip Jace this turn. We'll tuck away... I actually want this black source for Murderous Riders, so we'll pitch this other breeding pool. I don't think we need to Thoughtseize this turn. When would we Thoughtseize, though? If our opponent is sort of like Simic Flash deck, it's kind of hard to Thoughtseize them, because they'll just play whatever they want to play in response to, what is this? This is like Nightpack Ambusher? No, cycling Shark Typhoon for 2. That's interesting. I guess they're trying to hit action, but I would have kind of expected them to try to play a bigger shark. Play another Castle Vantress. Okay, so now I think I will Thoughtseize you. Maybe I'll loot first. No, we want the information from the Thoughtseize to determine how we loot. Opponent may cast a spell here. Nope. Resolves. Sinister Sabotage and Censor. Well... we'll just take the straight up counter spell. We'll go ahead and loot with the Jace. Am I interested in having another Jace? I don't think so. I don't think I'm interested in these lands, though, so... I'm leaving up Abrupt Decay. I think I can discard this Blooming Marsh. We can just go ahead and keep shrinking this Shark, and Jace is potentially a win condition. Go ahead and play this. Unfortunately, I don't have a Swamp to fetch to have access to Murderous Rider. That's fine. I assume we're either scrying or cycling the sensor. Scry, okay. We seem to be in pretty good position here. They went 1 top, 1 bottom. They played a Hinterland Harbor, which we knew about. Nothing doing yet. Okay. So I can think about flashing back this Thoughtseize. It was a card they kept, but it's probably something they can flash in. So I think we'll just lead off on Satyr Wayfinder. Maybe we can put an on the graveyard. Nope, nothing. Okay. We did go up to 5 card types, though. So Traverse is active. 5 card types, that means Emrakul costs 8. That's interesting. I forgot to fetch with this Fable Passage. That was an accident. But we'll shrink your shark. Do I want to play this Jace? I'm also not sure, like, it's going to take us like 8 or 9 spells to win with the Jace emblem. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. I don't think we're casting anything now in any event, so I think we're just passing. Why did I tap a swamp? I should not have tapped a swamp for the Satyr Wayfinder. It was just a bigger Shark Typhoon. Okay, that's fine. We can abrupt decay that. I mean, we can just do it now. It's attacking Jace, of course. I guess the risk is Veil of Summer, which I would be surprised if there was a Veil main deck. But I guess who knows. I would be very sad if this gets veiled. I think Unsubstantiate is like the only other thing that could possibly deal with that, but that's fine. Got that. Okay. Fatal Push. That's another thing that'll protect us. I feel like we should be traversing for something. Maybe we should traverse for a Scavenging Ooze. I'm surprised we don't have more lands, though. Otherwise I would just traverse for a... this gets a creature or land card. Otherwise I would traverse for the Ishkana, but the Ishkana's in the graveyard. But I think we should just do something with this traverse. It's not getting any better. Oh, Uro is definitely another option we could do. Yeah, I like Uro. Got a pretty stock graveyard. Atris is an option. Tireless Tracker and Scavengers are options. I don't even have lands to be triggering the Tireless Tracker. So we're gonna go ahead and Uro. We have Fatal Push up for another Shark Typhoon. Fine. Fine. Gain life, draw a card. No, because we don't have one. We drew the Emrakul. We can go ahead and cast the Uro next turn. Opponent probably has some counterspells. They have 4 cards in hand. They still have the Censor. I guess Censor is a reason. Yeah, we need to remember they have that Censor. Like, they'll be able to censor a Fatal Push. Okay, so they are... What now? Targeting Jace Unbound, Shark Typhoon. So they're drawing a card, they're creating a copy of a 2/2, and they're returning Jace to our hand. Okay, well this Fatal Push will effectively kill 2 sharks, so I should push now. And they tapped out of the sensor. Counter target activator triggered, return, create a token. Okay. Yes, we'll cast that now. They're still... So it was 6 mana, bounce Jace, draw a card. Sure. I guess I can be okay with that. This sensor is gone. Some of these lands are probably gone too. I haven't paid too much attention to what they do or don't have. They're going to be able to escape this Uro too, which is... Sure. Yep, that's an Uro. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I assume they've played these lands by now. Okay, so we can get an Uro of our own, which I think we should probably just do that. Green, blue, blue, green. We can exile... We don't want to exile all of our lands. And I think we can exile Thoughtseize. That's fine. Still no land. Could really use some land. Enters the battlefield or attacks. So if our opponent attacks with Uro, we're kind of incentivized to not block so that we can attack with our own. I guess, would we prefer nobody getting triggers or both of us to be getting triggers? Since we're so short on lands, and we have such a stocked hand, we're probably interested in getting more lands. The issue is, of course, if they... Well, we're also incentivized to trade because our opponent's graveyard is so low. Whereas we can just escape our Uro immediately. So I think because of that, we actually do block. We have filled our graveyard much more effectively. I would really like to be able to get another Uro trigger, but that might just not happen. Hey, we drew a land. What do you know? Okay, so... I kind of don't want to exile cards from our graveyard right now. Actually don't. Yeah, so I don't really actually want to play the Uro. I assume our opponent just has like infinite counterspells in hand. So I kind of just want to try to play a Jace. Sure. We'll leave up Murderous Rider, which might be okay, might not be okay. Growth Spiral, sure. Our opponent's just cantripping a lot. Like, I'm definitely scared of what our opponent can do. But maybe I shouldn't be scared of that because we have so much stuff ourselves. Like, if we ever get to... Not even resolve, but just cast this Emrakul. Okay, so... I want to go ahead and let that resolve. And then I want to... destroy it. Opponent's gone through I think 3 Shark Typhoons. There's an Uro from hand. So our opponent's getting close to escaping another Uro. It's okay, I think. Okay. So we get to Jace. I think we'll definitely discard a Jace. Do we want to try to Thoughtseize? I feel like our opponent is probably going to have very relevant cards here. They've been cycling a lot. Yeah, I'm also going to play this Triome because we get to Emrakul with one more land. So yeah, I want to Thoughtseize. I just want to know what they've got, and I'm sure it'll hit something. They're probably just going to counter it, which is fine. We traded a card in our graveyard for a Torrential Gearhulk. Okay. Interesting. I guess you're probably flashing back like Sublime Epiphany? That's pretty good. Wish we had a Scavenging Ooze in play. Okay. I mean, I can't do too much about that. This has to be Sublime Epiphany, yeah. Yep. So you're countering Thoughtseize, bouncing Jace, drawing a card, and making a copy of Torrential Gearhulk. This is actually pretty insane. Pretty sort of insane combo here. Yeah, so targeting Thoughtseize, Torrential Gearhulk, and... Oh, they're gonna... Counter... Are you making a copy of it, or are you returning it to your hand? Targeting Thoughtseize, Torrential Gearhulk, and themselves. So they're countering this, they're drawing a card. But what is the mode that's targeting the Torrential Gearhulk? Is it returning it to their hand, or are they creating a token that's a copy of it? I assume they would be creating a copy of it, but then they should also be bouncing with Jace, right? Or maybe they don't want us to draw a card. Either way, I think I want to Murderous Rider it. Because what would... I mean, I guess they would just, like... But they'd be getting a 5/6, so either way, I'm definitely just killing this. Sure. Destroy that. I still don't know what mode is targeting the Torrential Gearhulk, but that's fine. They draw a card. Put this into play. I attack for 1. And I guess I play a Jace? I guess? I think I do that. I mean, next turn I'm going to Jace plus. Maybe I sit on this Jace so that I, like, Jace flashback and then loot with Jace. This, I assume, is an Uro escape. Sure. Okay. I would like to draw an untapped land here to cast an Emrakul. That is an untapped land. If I cast this Emrakul, I probably attack the Uro into it. Yeah, this should be fine. So, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna pay 2 life. We're gonna cast this. We get a trigger. Our opponent's probably going to do all sorts of stuff in response. But hopefully we'll be able to just, like, you know, cast some spell, counterspell it, something. Just empty our opponent's hand. Yeah, let's see what they do in response. Oh my gosh, they get to counter the triggered ability. Targeting Emrakul, triggered ability. Jace, Uro. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that was really good. Yeah, that's an option that you have. Okay. Sublime Epiphany. Quite the card. Quite the card. I'm worried about the clock here, so I think we're kind of... Well, We're not necessarily beat. We can just play an Uro. We have some Murderous Riders. This game is not over, but that was a big beating. They are a rec deck. That makes sense. Yeah, no, they just have lots of flash cards. Yeah, of course they're a Wilderness Reclamation deck. Who are they attacking? They're attacking... Yeah, so I'll jump there. Doesn't trample. Man, I've Uro trampled. Yeah, that's fine, because we'll like flash back the Heartless Act. We have a Jace. No. I am kind of interested in this Jace staying around now that we don't have a Jace in play. But I really need to start playing faster. Are we just floating? No, we're in second main phase. Dig through time. Gosh, okay. Yeah, I have F6. F6. I assume they're gonna scry Infinity here, or maybe just Shark Typhoon? Dig through time? Okay. I really wish there was a way to get cards back out of our graveyard. Because, like, I'd really like this Ishkanah back, I'd really like the Semirkle back. What do they exit? How many Sublime Epiphanies have we gone through? It can't be just the one. There's the second one. So they played one, they got a second one with the Torrential Gearhulk, and then they played the third one we tried to Emrakul. It's an Abrupt Decay. Alright, I think we tried to play this Uro. Green, blue, green, blue. Exile. I think we can just kind of exile whatever now. Instant. Creature, creature, creature. Instant? I'm trying to keep enough card types to still be able to traverse. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure anything I'm sure many things that we're playing are going to get countered, but we do still need to play them. That's mostly their... Oh, I need to, shoot, I forgot to activate Jace. Okay, well. They're playing a Brazen Borrower. I guess it wasn't going to do anything anyway. F6. Both attacking Jace. If they're both attacking Jace, I don't need to block. Yeah, okay. I feel like this game is... Like, I want to feel like this game is lost. But I don't know if it actually is. That's... okay. Yeah, okay, at this point I think I can concede. I am genuinely worried about the clock at this point. Okay, so... Mystical Disputes are probably fine. Our opponent is playing blue, after all. I think I would definitely like to be able to eat things out of their graveyard. I could maybe even bring in some number of, like, actual honest-to-God Tormod's Crypt. I don't think Fatal Push is very good. It does hit, like, an Uro in theory. And I feel like it hit something else that game, but it seems bad. Assassin's Trophy doesn't feel like where we want to be at. Like, our opponent has some really big haymakers. Like, I mean, if they play a Torrential Gearhulk, sure, I can trophy a 5/6. I mean, I guess I have to. It still just doesn't seem good. I definitely don't want Cry, Legion's End. I want Duress. Duress definitely comes in. Decay might not be good. I guess I just bring a trophy in for Decay. All this seems really good. Maybe I don't want the crypts. I mean, it'll... And this is where like we would probably bring in the Leyline of Void over the crypts, like where the Leyline of Void is better than the crypt. It's because they're like continually stocking the graveyard. They're putting Uros there. They're putting things in flashback with Torrential Gearhulk there. Yeah. I think just trim. Take out a Wayfinder. Murderous Rider is pretty similar to Assassin's Trophy. Trophy's cheaper. Gives him a land, but what can you do? Yes, I would like to go first. This is 5 lands, 2 discard spells. This is not applying pressure very quickly, but I think that's okay. We'll just lead on Duress. It'll hit something we care about. See, like, I don't know what we're supposed to take here. This game is going to go long enough they're going to have access to all of these. Reclamation is probably just the most generally powerful card. I mean, we'll Thoughtseize them later. Maybe not next. Maybe not turn 2, but turn 3. Before they have access to Sinister Sabotage. But yeah, it seems like our opponent is going to have the better late game than us. I want to get a second blue here for Uro, although Island doesn't cast Assassin's Trophy. It does cast Jace. So I want to Thoughtseize here. You got no. You drew an Opt. I think the next most generically powerful card is Sublime Epiphany, so I think I want to take that. Like, Dig and Shark Typhoon are just very good, obviously, but I think we'll just take that. Opt, sure. We'll start looting away, see what comes along. Mystical Dispute, I like that. They use this Opt. Do I need this E2 Extinction? It'll exile an Uro, which I care about. I would also like... I would like to cast this Uro. Maybe I discard a land? It's definitely not Mystical Dispute. Actually, maybe it is Mystical Dispute. I think I can discard the land. It's definitely greedy. But I'm gonna get a Shadow Land here, I'll draw a card. I don't know. Like, this Mystical Dispute is also not gonna be live forever. Right? This is a 1/1 shark? Interesting. I guess they're trying to hit lands. I don't know what else I would have discarded, though. I mean, maybe it's the Mystical Dispute. I guess it's not like I left Dispute open. I also, like... I mean, I'm holding up 8 to Distinction for Uro, but... I mean, I guess I'll do it when they cast it, when they escape it. Which will hopefully be next turn, if I draw land. Yeah. I want to leave black up so that I can Abrupt Decay. Actually, I kind of want to leave the blue up so I can Mystical Dispute. Awkward. Awkward. I think it just has to be the Triome. I need, like... I only have 1 blue and 1 green, so the Triome is blue and green. The Blooming Marsh... I mean, I'm playing this for the mana, and the Triome taps for all colors, so... yeah. Oh, I can also loot. I should loot. Now I think I want this land. I think I discard this trophy. I don't think this trophy is doing too much right now. A plus on the shark. I should have attacked the Slater Wayfinder. I guess not. Yeah, that didn't accomplish anything. Now if you escape the arrow, you get the trigger, but I get to eat it. I also get to play Watery Grave to have Dispute up for whatever you're going to try to do there. Could also flash something back. Flashback of Thoughtseize, maybe? Seems good. Okay, so... Watery Grave, untapped. Eat Uro. With Dispute up. Dispute. Do I want a Wayfinder? Yes. Put that away. Plus on the shark. I think I would probably flash back a Thoughtseize next turn. I can also play my own arrow, which seems good. I also have access to a 4/4 shark, which also seems good. Okay, let's start with this. See what's going on. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Gearhulk, Shark Typhoon, Dig Through Time. So Torrential Gearhulk is a 6-mana 5/6 counterspell. That seems really good. Dig is dig. These are all very scary. Honestly, I feel like I should take Torrential Gearhulk. I guess I can Gearhulk and Uro, and the next turn I flash back the Duress. Because I want to resolve Uro this turn, and I don't want you to counterspell it. You could, like, dig into... No, that's not even likely to happen. Okay, you have Dig and Shark Typhoon. Let's cast this Uro. Blue, green, blue, green. Let's exile... Land, land, land. Instant creature? We're losing Delirium. Oh, I left 2 lands in there. I did not mean to leave 2 lands in there. I think we're digging a response here. Just tapping out to dig. Or you're Shark Typhooning for a lot. Okay. I guess this kills my Jace. It does kill my Jace. Maybe. Probably. Okay. I already used that. Okay. That's fine. We have a shark. I guess I don't have an answer to that right now. I exiled my Abrupt Decay. That was smart. We can make a 4/4 shark. The shark is tapped, so we can get some Uro triggers, which are always useful. Could draw a Jace. Jace is good. Jace is good. Let's just start by getting an Uro trigger. Really should be attacking with the Satyr Wayfinder too. I don't have anything to do there, so that's fine. Take some damage. I might do this on end step. So I think for now we're just going to cast a Jace. And yeah. Okay. If my opponent casts something, like if they cast a big dig here, I assume this is dig. Oh, it's another Shark Typhoon. Okay, well we're going to kill this one then. This one's only for 5. Then exile this card to make us... I'm not sure. If Murderous Rider is in my graveyard, can I flash it back with Jace? Curious cards. My sharks only are sharks for 4. Could really use another couple lands. My opponent has gotten... No, we've gotten an equal number of cards through our deck. I feel like a lot of my cards may have been looted, though. It's a scary dig. Okay, let's swing for 6 flying. We have an arrow in play, so still very much get to do stuff. Okay. Let's start with the arrow trigger. Do we get an arrow trigger? We do get an arrow trigger. Let's try to Thoughtseize. Do we get to Thoughtseize? Sublime Epiphany? Torrential Gearhook. For dig through time. Okay. That's scary. We will get to Thoughtseize one of the cards you get. And we'll probably eat... We'll probably eat the shark. Oh my gosh. Oh, good grief. Okay, well... I mean, it has to just be Sublime Epiphany, right? Sublime Epiphany on Torrential Gearhook was stupid. Everything that's left is counterspells and dig, so that's what we got. I think we also just like flip Jace, Duress, dig, eat, Gearhook. That seems fine. Loot. Ooh. It's actually interesting. Loot, pitch Wayfinder. Flashback, Duress. Duress your dig. Eat your 5/5. Ooh. No. Actually, well, Not sure how this will work out. Growth Spiral, yeah. They have like 2 counterspells. They have 2 counterspells, that's what I know. Petty theft Uro, sure. Okay. Wait, so you have 2 counterspells there. Dang it. I need this Ishkanah to resolve, but I cannot get the Ishkanah to resolve. I guess if you counterspell this, but there's no reason for you to counterspell it. Maybe you will. I don't know. Sure. You counterspelled it. Sure. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Shrink that. Go. Time, definitely a factor. 3.5 minutes, not just to close this out, but also to win another game. I need to get better at this. Sure, cycle that. I can just F6 here, because I have nothing to do. No attacks, okay. Scavenging Ooze, that's good. I would like to cast that. I would like it to resolve, though. Do that. I could just have 4/4 Shark up. I think 4/4 Shark is pretty good. I would really like to. I would like the Scavenging Ooze in play, but I'm pretty sure they have another counterspell in hand. I think that's how their the Thoughtseizes worked out. So I don't just want to cast the Scavenging Ooze now. I want to have an uncounterable Shark Typhoon. I don't need to stop on my end step anymore. Scry, sure. Cast Brazen Borrower, which is fine. This costs how much mana? 7. Mana off that. Sure. What are we doing? Wilderness Wreck? That's... It's only as good as the stuff you have. Doing nothing? Sure. Both cards on bottom. Let's cycle this now, so if you have a Sublime Epiphany, you can't counter the trigger. Okay. Do I want to flash something back? Don't know. Sure. I'm kind of just trying to win the game right now because I kind of need to win the game soon. I'll trade off with both of those. That's fine. Actually, am I okay with that? I'm gonna try to protect this shark. I'm leaving up. I don't know what I'm leaving up. I don't know why I'm leaving anything up. I guess I'll cast an arrow because reasons. Yeah, the clock is just really getting to me here. I really like countering the trigger. Oh, we're scrying. Okay. Well, this is a lesson to me, yet again, to play faster. I think I win this game at this point. My opponent has no cards in hand. I can, I mean, they're scrying for stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've outcarded my opponent at this point. They put a card on top. I don't know what it is. I was figuring I would just dare my opponent out with Ishkana. This is probably a big Shark Typhoon. Sublime Epiphany. Jeez. Okay, Sublime Epiphany on Torrential Gearhook is just stupid. Like, oh my gosh. Bouncing my Shark, getting another Torrential Gearhook, drawing a card, casting another Dig Through Time. Like, I can flash back a something. Wait, what even? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, at least with this is happening, I feel less bad about yeah, okay. This is quite something. Sublime Epiphany Torrential Gearhook is really something. I'm very interested in playing this deck now. Yeah. Okay, well, I think I can concede now. We got beat there. That's fine. We got beat fair and square. To the clock as well as just... That was a beating. Game 3. I wonder if, when I'm playing on Magic Online, if I need to just... Because I usually really enjoy playing mid-range decks. I feel like just the flexibility to take on the aggressive role or the control role is really enjoyable. I just feel like there's a lot of decision points, and I really enjoy that. But maybe I'm just having too much trouble doing this online. In terms of the clock. It may also just be, It may also, I don't know if I've said this before, it may just be because I'm streaming. I have not played a whole lot of Magic recently when I'm not streaming, so I don't know how well or not well I'm playing the clock if I'm not streaming. But that's something for me to think about. As far as this game, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if I should play the Fatal Passage on turn 1 or not. I was going to for the island, but then I drew the island. And so my turn 2 is... I guess my turn 2 could be Scavenging Ooze. But I think I'd rather get Jace going. After that, though, I'm really hoping I hit another land so that this Fatal Passage will eventually be an untapped land. That's also interesting. My opponent could just be a mirror match. If it's a mirror match... If it's a mirror match, I'd rather play my Jace now, and I'd rather play my Scavenging Ooze at some point when it can actually do something. Like when my opponent has an Uro in the yard, I can play it and then immediately eat the Uro, even if my opponent has a removal spell for it. Like my opponent has... I mean, my opponent may have a removal spell for this Jace. I guess they didn't have a Fatal Push. They may have something else. But the Scavenging Ooze is a card that can get value immediately. Yep, that's an Uro. See, so like this turn, if I get an untapped land, I will play the Scavenging Ooze and immediately eat the Uro. I don't... Well, I guess it may get... No, it's getting pushed. That's getting pushed. Okay, I guess they just drew the push? They had 2 draw steps to get the push. Yeah, so I'd really like an untapped land. If I don't get an untapped land, I will Thoughtseize my opponent. I wonder if I would cycle the Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon is such an interesting card. Okay, well, I'm playing the Fabled Passage. What could my opponent have that I would care about? So they're not escaping the Uro this turn. I am still playing, well, actually, am I playing the Scavenging Ooze this turn? Because my opponent has a removal spell for it, I would rather not do that. And I can just Thoughtseize instead. Yeah, I mean, I know how this game is going to go. This is going to be a long game, so my opponent probably has a card that's good long that I can Thoughtseize now, so that should be fine. Yeah, like this Hydroid Krasis. Also this Ashiok. Ashiok can get eaten. Krasis is not going to be good for a while, but yeah, I can deal with the Ashiok, so we'll take the Krasis. That's fine. I mean, Ashiok is going to be a 5-mana 2/3. I can deal with that. I guess it's a 2/3 right now. I didn't realize my opponent was going to be on 5 lands. Right, because Uro. Okay. Well, that's a little worse. We're going to get a forest. I actually really hope I'm drawing an untapped land. I did, thankfully. So that gets eaten. Ooh, Liliana. Yeah, I like having a Liliana. Cool. My opponent is going to get in with this Nightmare. What exactly does it do? Attacks each opponent. Okay, sure. That's gone. It's done. It's fine. What are we trying to do here? It's just another row. Each opponent exiles the top 2 cards. Oh, so I put this Liliana back, but it's just going to get exiled. Yeah, oh well. Well, that's fine. Didn't want to be discarding my cards anyway. Yeah, so we're going to play this. And I don't even need to do anything right now. Anything. I can push this token if I have to for some reason, but I can make Scavenging Ooze a 3/3 pretty easily. I wish I had more green mana so I could eat more things, but I mentioned just keeping my opponent's graveyard down. Looks like they have a Fatal Push, so I will eat an Uro. They will still have another one, which is unfortunate. At this point... Do I push this Nightmare? Because I could also hit a Jace or something. Like, the exiling cards is just really not relevant. So it's really just a 2/3, and I can take some damage. It's fine. I'll make a Shark or something. I'm also, like, very much up on cards right now. All this could change relatively quickly. It's another Uro. My opponent is still a card off escaping it. I have answers to it, though. I'm still not interested in pushing this. Murderous Rider. Do I just cast this Murderous Rider? Jeez. I have a number of lines here. I can hold up Eat for Uro. I can Shark Typhoon now to try to hit a land. I can Traverse to actually get a land. I can Murderous Rider as a blocker. I have a lot of lines here. I think I just don't really need to do anything. I have answers for pretty much everything my opponent can do. I don't see a reason to... Like, the only possible reason I might want to do something now is if I'm concerned about my life total. I'd play the Murderous Rider as a creature to be able to block the Nightmare and have some lifelink. Like, I'm mostly just, like... If I had another land, then I would Shark Typhoon for a 3/3 to be able to block this 2/3 finally. Yet another Uro. Okay. I mean, I could eat it now, but there's no reason to do that. What I want to do is I want to eat the Uro that actually gets played. Yeah, this is just awkward. I think now I finally want to push this 2/3. It's getting to the point where, like, I see what will probably doing with my mana over the next several turns. It's coming to play tapped. But that's fine, because my opponent's going to play Uro this turn, and I'll eat it. And then... Actually, do I want to traverse for the Ishkanah now? Because I assume Ishkanah is what I'm getting with traverse. Actually, I could traverse for a Scavenging Ooze. I maybe should have done that a while ago. Well, I assume my opponent is going to... Nope, what are we doing here? This is another Ashiok? It's a Nissa. Okay, that'll get swift-ended. And then are you casting the... You're going to attack with... You're going to attack with it first, and then you're going to... Okay. Okay. I definitely am worried about my life total now. So I think I'm going to eat the Uro, untap, Murderous Threat or Nissa. And traverse for Ishkanah? This is going to leave a 3/3 and me at 6 because I'm going to take 2 life from the Swift End. Yes. Actually, that would block. So this is going to be Swift End, Traverse. No, I want that in my graveyard. Thoughtseize. So I can go to 6, I can go to 4. I might actually want to Thoughtseize. It's kind of terrifying. I could also make a 3/3 strike. No, I have to Swift End. I have to Swift End. There's just no way that's... There's no way not Swift Ending is the line. I would like to possibly strip, like if my opponent has another Nissa that would kill me. Yeah, like that. And then we have Sensor Neutralize. Okay. That's interesting. Swift End that for black, that. And then Traverse for Ishkanah, right? Is there something else I would be getting? I could be getting... Actually, Uro might be good. Also, with this counter magic my opponent has. Uro might be nice. The other thing is... Yeah, I mean, I would like Ishkanah to resolve, but it's not going to resolve. So I would rather get the Uro that... I mean, could get countered, but probably won't get countered. The other option is Emrakul, but I'm a ways off that. So I'm going to take an Uro. Pass. I'm going to go to 1. The Shark Typhoon is going to be able to block this 3/3. My opponent has 2 counter spells in hand. I'm at 1. Okay. That's good, because now my Shark will survive. I wonder if my opponent ever cycles either of these cards. A removal spell on the Shark kills me, but it's fine. So I'm going to pitch this. We're going to Shark Typhoon for 4. Draw a card. May I block? Cool. Sure. Still Sensor Neutralize in hand. Do I leave back this Shark against a potential Nissa? Well, first I see if my Uro resolves. Ahoy! It's an Alpha Sully. What's up? We are exploring this wonderful world of Post-Ban Pioneer, and Swift End is not exactly what I wanted to see. At least that doesn't trample. Abrupt Decay cannot kill an animated breeding pool. So I know my opponent... Okay, so I can Uro if I find an untapped land. I could cast the Uro again. Uro would gain me 3 life, but I would like to... My opponent has a neutralize in hand. New Pioneer feels good. Human Stack doesn't die randomly now, so that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot to explore in the new Pioneer format. It's I played Zombie Rally on Monday, which I had a lot of fun with. I'm working on getting the VODs on YouTube, which I should probably link my YouTube to my Twitch. So you can go back, or you can go back to the old VODs and see it. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how not to die. I can cast the arrow and go up to 4 so I won't die next turn, but my opponent, I would like to resolve something relevant. But I don't think just resolving the Murderous Rider is relevant. So I think I just have to do this and hope I draw something relevant, or draw an untapped land that lets me escape the arrow. Even a shockland, like a shockland will do because I went up to 4. Yes, I would like to pay 2 life. Sacrifice it. Now I can escape it. I can't escape it because of Censor. That's awkward. My opponent does still have this Censor, right? Yeah. Forgot if they had a Censor. So I guess what I have to do then is cast this. Yeah, I have to do that so that the Murderous Rider will resolve. The problem is now that... Do I want to play this Triome? I don't think... Actually, I might have time to cycle it. Murderous Rider will at least block this turn. There's the Censor. Murderous Rider will at least block this turn so I go to 4, and so the next turn I can at least let the attack through and not die. They'll have their own Murderous Rider, but I can hand that with Abrupt Decay, and that's uncounterable. I actually should have played this Triumph because it represents casting Arrow twice. That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. Oh, or I could just die now. Sure. Okay. I'm also learning that I'm a rather slow player and need to pick up the pace and kind of just concede if things are done so that we can actually get onto games that actually make sure I can win. My opponent showed me counterspells, so I'm interested in Mystical Dispute. I'm interested in the Scavenging Ooze to eat Uros. I think I'm not super interested in Abrupt Decays, although I saw some Planeswalkers, so I'll take Assassin's Trophy. Tormod's Crypt. Could put in like 1 or 2. I think Food Pushers are not great, although they will still hit like Scavenging Oozes and stuff. I can probably cut some stuff. Thoughtseize. 1-for-1s in a mid-range mirror are probably not exactly where I want to be at. Or discard spells in general, probably not exactly where I want to be at. I might be over sideboarding on the removal spells. Like, I have 2 Assassin's Trophy, 2 Murderous Rider, 2 Eat to Extinction. But I do need to deal with the Planeswalkers. Maybe these Tormod scripts don't belong in the deck. We'll try that. Yes, I would like to go first. 3 lands, no green, but I can get green for the Scavenging Ooze. Seems fine. I think I want to play Tormod's Crypt now. It could get Thought Seized or some such. There is some risk in my opponent knowing to play around it, and also like being able to Abrupt Decay it or something, but there's pluses and minuses to either way. Let's just get the Scavenging Ooze in play. I'm definitely thinking these Tormod's Crypt should be Leyline of the Voids. Leyline of the Void is what was actually in the deck list to begin with. I just didn't have Leylines, and turns out that renting 4 Uros from Mana Traders is really expensive. I didn't have space to get the Uros and the Leylines. So, are we censoring a Satyr Wayfinder? Wow, okay. I mean, I was going to play this tapped anyway, so it didn't make a difference, but... Am I happy about that? Like, I'm going to play Atris next turn, so I guess I would rather that Atris not get censored. Yeah, Uro's silly. It's also the way that, you know, Arena affects the MTGO economy, because everybody does their drafts on Arena and not on MTGO, so there's no Uros that get opened, and so they're just really, really, really rare. Yeah. Okay, so I have a blue source, a green source. I need another blue and green source. Really, I guess I should count up what's more likely with my mana base. I have blue. I have 3 green. I have a lot of green, so I guess I should get the blue. I'm gonna cast this. See what our opponent gives us. I think this may be the first time that I've ever resolved an Atris trigger on either side. I mean, I'm pretty happy with 2 cards no matter what they are. Like, lands are useful to me. I still need another land to be able to escape in a row. Where do the rest of these go? They go in the graveyard. And I'm choosing choose a pile to put in your hand. So yeah, I'll take the 2 cards. Land reverse, that's fine. Yep, go ahead. I'm at land creature enchantment. So I can probably get up to traversing for something relevant pretty soon. This looks like an Ashiok, that's a Nissa. It's fine, I can swift end that. Am I interested in trading here? So I can at least consider that this Atris has Menace and I can attack Nissa for 3 and then... No, that's stupid. Sure. So I think I need to pop this Tormod's Crypt this turn. Because I'm going to Swift End Nissa. Yeah. Swift End. I don't think I'm traversing this turn. But now my opponent can cast the Uro, so now I need to exile your graveyard. Play this tapped. Oh, I do have 4 types now, so I can traverse. Yeah. I want to traverse probably for Ishkana. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, I mean, switching this was definitely a plan. I was just thinking about if it made any sense to like try to attack the Nissa down with the Atris so I could save the Swift End, but that you know, I thought about it for about 5 seconds, less than 5 seconds, just to make sure that that wasn't the line I wanted to take. My opponent is playing Hydroid Crassus into a known Ishkana, which, I mean, I guess is just what you have to do. Yeah, I think I just want to resolve this Ishkana while I know that my opponent doesn't have counter magic. And while I have Delirium, so that's all great. Ishkana blocks the Krasis. So that's all fine. This looks like another Uro, that's fine. I'll have my own Uro, and I actually have a graveyard to escape. So that's good. I'll just F6 here. Sure. Okay. I could Assassin's Trophy this Krasis and start attacking. I think that's pretty aggressive, though. Assassin's Trophy is the only thing I really have in case my opponent slams like a Nissa or an Ashiok. So I'd rather just start getting the Uro train rolling. Yeah, I can put that in play. I don't need to pay life. And then do I want to leave up an Assassin's Trophy? I don't think I need to. I don't think there's anything so dangerous that I can't just untap and do it next turn. I'm in a good position here. I'll take Fabled Passage because it'll end up in my graveyard. Ishkana's ability costs 7 mana. So that is the thing I can do, although I don't think I want to sit around just activate it for 6 turns that it would take. But I am able to activate it at this point. Yeah, pricey, but I mean, it's already a 5 mana for 6/11 worth of stats. It's pretty solid. What is this? I mean, the ability is almost just gravy. I feel like when it was played in Standard, you almost didn't even see the ability activated. Oh, dear. I guess that's not that bad. It's only a 2-for-1. Sure. I mean, that's not ideal by any stretch, but pretty okay with that. I'm also fine to trade damage here. Like, I'll just swing in. And that's fine because I have Uros coming. Yeah, so let's attack. Cast an Uro. Can exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands and still have a land, so that's fine. Okay, sure. That's, like, honestly pretty okay. I have plenty of cards in my graveyard. So I'm not going to be too upset about trading 5 cards from my graveyard for a card from my opponent's hand. Granted, it was a Mystical Dispute, which, like, should be kind of dead at this point in the game, but that's fine. Thoughtseize. At this point, I think I should Assassin's Trophy this Hydroid Krasis. I would have really loved to save it for. Now my opponent gets escape an Uro though. Alright, Uro Wars. So be it. You got it. Are we doing something else here? Another arrow. Okay. At least this means I know my arrow resolves. Although my opponent has 3 cards in hand. I don't like that my opponent has 3 cards in hand. I drew another arrow. I mean, I would like my arrow to... Yeah. So, what are we taking here? We're taking creature... Creature... How do I want to do this? Land, creature, creature? Choosing cards to exile is kind of awkward. No. This isn't active. I think I just want to cast this. And the arrow mirror match is underway. I can still escape my arrow again, so I'm pretty happy to trade. Although that means my opponent gets the trigger and I don't. But I also have a bunch more creatures in place, so then I can just start attacking for 5, in theory, for free. But we'll see what our opponent can do with 3 cards in hand. Fatal Push Arrow. Okay, sure. Unfortunately, we don't have... Maybe I should have not cast the Murderous Rider so that I could have blocked with the Spider and gotten my own Fatal Push. That may have been a mistake. This is a large Hydroid Graces. That can get Fatal Pushed, but it's drawing my opponent 2 cards. Yep, I mean, I can push, Trophy, and cast Uro. Sure. Sure, we'll do it. Attack with everything. Cast arrow. Green, blue, green, blue. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Trying to leave stuff that I can cast with a Jace Fringe Prodigy. Traverse and Fatal Push. Sure, put that in play. Uro, such a silly card. This is a Shark Typhoon. What is this? Why are you going back? Because you're playing a land. It's another Hydroid Crisis, probably. Oh, jeez. Well then. Okay, that happened. I guess I'll see what else you got. A lot of stuff. Fancy. Can I draw anything else? Yeah, I know. I wonder if I should be running a Nugan. Alright. We're just gonna call it there. I'm not killing a Nugan. I'm not sure how I feel about putting an Ugin in the deck. I do kind of like running an Ashiok. Yeah, Ugin is OP. Yeah, it definitely feels like... Actually, that probably came in out of the sideboard. I don't feel like you can afford to run an Uro main deck, generally speaking, but it definitely helps out in the mirror match. It helps out in any match where you know you're going to be able, where you know you're going to live to cast it, which you are going to in this matchup. This is just like a black-green rock hand. Seems totally fine. This is like one of my favorite Magic cards of all time. It's like, it's just really good. It's a 3-mana creature that draws you cards every turn. It's great. I love it. Blue-red. What is blue-red doing to us? Is it Phoenix? Is it... I don't know what. I have 2 Thoughtseizes, so I guess I Thoughtseize now. Find out what's going on. Okay. It's Nivtalite. I mean, I can Murderous Rider the Teferi. The Dreadbore will kill my Tires Tracker, which is annoying, but I think I'd just take the Bringolite and plan to Thoughtseize the other Bringolite at some point. Teferi, yeah. Teferi is it's funny. I was talking about this on Monday, after all the bans, that you know, we have all these stupid powerful cards that have been printed in the last few years. I don't think I need to Thoughtseize now. I think I'll wait a few turns and see if my opponent draws something better. We have all these stupid powerful cards that have been printed in the last few years that keep getting banned, but they get banned in every format, like, progressively down the line. Like, you know, Oko's been banned in pretty much everything at this point, but, like, if you ask me which formats Wilderness Reclamation is legal in, like, I didn't realize at first that Wilderness Rec was legal in Pioneer, because it's banned in Standard now. It's banned in Historic, I think, but not in Pioneer yet. Maybe it will be. I don't know. What's Teferi banned in? Like, it's not banned in this format, apparently. But, you know, like, it's tempting to think that it is, because it... Like, I think Teferi got banned from Standard, but I can't even remember now. Just because it's so hard to keep track of who gets banned in what. Yeah. I think I'm actually more interested in Abrupt Decaying this Teferi than Murderous Riding it, because my opponent is going to play stuff like Niv Mizzet. That also lets me Thoughtseize this turn. Do I want to Thoughtseize this turn? Because next turn I can go... Yeah, because next turn I'm going to play the Fabled Passage to get 2 triggers, so I want to Abrupt Decay. It's also just one of those cards that, like, every single player, they get got by, like, thinking that you can do something on your opponent's end step and then suddenly not being able to. Nahiri. Okay, so I guess I'll just Swift End the Nahiri then. Like, I just want to take this Bring to Light because it's the most powerful in a vacuum. Because it's basically going to get Niv Mizzet, which is going to draw, you know, 2 to 4 cards. This means I'm probably not playing my Tireless Tracker into Fabled Passage next turn, but that's fine. I can do it the turn after that. Or I could just let Nahiri sit on the board for a turn. How much do I care about Nahiri? So this is gone. Are you discarding a Glacial Fortress? My opponent also just doesn't have... I guess they have 4 colors of mana. They're discarding the Dreadbore. Which is nice. Maybe my Tireless Tracker will live. Ooh, 2 Fabled Passages. Yeah, now that I have 2 Fabled Passages, I think I want to play this Tireless Tracker, because Nahiri can't exile it. This deck isn't going to run counter magic or anything, so I can definitely swift end it, or even just attack it with the Tireless Tracker. Yeah, we can do this. Play the Fatal Passage. Crack it now. Don't let her sit, it still grabs a Niv. Well, it's not going to grab a Niv next turn. I'll swift end it next turn if I have to. I just figured when I do the second Fatal Passage that this was going to be a big boon of cards, and I wanted to get all the investigate triggers I could before anything might happen to the Tireless Tracker. Caryatid, sure. Yeah, so my opponent thinks that the Caryatid is going to chump the tracker. I'll probably still attack the Nahiri before I swift end just to make that chump happen. The danger is if my opponent is running counter magic for some reason, which I don't think they would. Yeah, I can't imagine if Light is running counter magic. I'm going to get these investigate triggers now. I want double blue to make sure that I can escape an Uro if that ever comes up. Get another investigate trigger. I'm at 3 card types in graveyard, so Traverse is not on yet. What did I... we'll attack Nahiri, make this block happen. I assume they're blocking. If they don't block, I still swift end because... Oh. Interesting. Are you going to kill the Tireless Tracker? Huh. I mean, I'm pretty sure I still swift end the Nahiri because otherwise Nahiri can kill my Tireless Tracker. Which I don't want to happen. I'm very surprised that that happened, though. I mean, it's like kind of smart plays on my opponent's part. I wonder if they're like ghosting me. I don't think they're ghosting me. I can actually see that I have literally one viewer. And I know who that one viewer is. So unless Alpha Sully is also Mr. Dr. Professor Patrick, I think my opponent's good. My opponent does now have 5 colors, so they can cast Niv if they have it, which they do. Fine, fine. What are we getting here? You're gonna trigger. Oh my gosh. So you're not getting these cards. Which one are you choosing? Reveals 10 cards. So are we choosing a Bring to Light or an Uro? Voice, Dreadbore, Bring to Light. Okay. Yeah, Bring to Light, huh? Okay, let's crack a clue. At some point, I do have an Emrakul in my deck, so I might be able to get that trigger. I might be able to traverse for that. Still only at 3 card types, so that's definitely a ways off. Voice, Dreadbore, Bring to Light. Voice, Dreadbore, Bring to Light. I wonder if my opponent would Bring to Light... Ooh, Shark Typhoon. That needs a few more turns before that shark can block the Niv, but it's an interesting possibility. Could also just cast it. That seems bad. Uro will give me... Uro gives me, whatchamacallit? Delirium. So I think I want to go ahead and play Uro, and then traverse for Ishkana. Oh, that's kind of awkward, because I would normally want to Uro escape next turn, and that would take away my Delirium. I could also just play Ishkana next turn, because that would give me some blockers for Niv. Do I want some play? Yeah, I want some play because I have a Shark Typhoon in hand. And it gives me... I have a lot of clues here. So I just need to figure out how to fight through this Niv. Right, I don't want... Actually, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. I'm only 2 mana off this Emrakul. I could also get a Murderous Rider to swift end the Niv Mizzet. It's also awkward because my opponent has Bring to Light, which is just going to get another Niv. Whenever? This Emrakul does not have protection from Dreadbore. It's also like kind of scary to get this Ishkana and like gang block. Well, it's actually not that scary. Yeah, I'll take Ishkana. I think I should draw a card now, because... Did I play a land this turn? I put a land in from Uro. Yeah, I played a Swamp this turn. Okay. So I don't need to worry about drawing cards this turn. Right now, anyway. I assume we Dreadbore the... Abrupt Decay the Tireless Tracker. Okay, I didn't know you had that. That's fine. That's fine, it got me 6 clues. It's a pretty good Tireless Tracker. What's my shark at now? A 5/5? It's actually probably a reasonable way to try to snipe a Niv Mizzet. It's only going to get 1 because they have the Dreadbore still. I guess they may just Dreadbore the Ishkana. Actually, so probably what I'm going to end up doing with this Ishkana is just chump blocking the Niv for like 4 turns. Am I? We'll see. Voice. It's the voice. Draw a card. There's also whatever Bring to Light can get besides the Niv, which, ooh. I can Thoughtseize away the Bring to Light. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I can put Watergrave on untap to be able to crack another clue, but I don't think I want to do that at this life total. So we'll just put that in. End turn. I have 2, 4, 4, 8. So Shark Typhoon makes a 6/6 shark this turn, or at this number of lands. These are gone. Dreadbore Ishkana, that's fine. I'll just chump the Nymph for a while. I don't actually want this voice to die right now because it would make a larger creature. So I'll just take 2. And I want these spiders to hang out to jump Nymph for a while and it doesn't trample. Fine, fine, fine. Let's actually play this Murderous Rider potentially. Right, I also have an Uro in my graveyard. Opponent has 1 card in hand. So I could go Uro, escape Uro, have a land left over. I could go escape Uro, Murderous Rider. I think I want to escape Uro, so I think I should start with that. I got my Ishkana trigger, so that's fine. I can exile some cards from my graveyard now. Exile land, creature, sorcery. It's also put me up to 10, which is good. No. This will push the voice token, which is good. And then I think I'd rather have another creature on the battlefield. It's possible I should have just played the... It's possible I should have just played the Uro from hand instead of this Murderous Rider. Block. Bring the light. Bring the light. Or Niv, rather. Fly bothering me. Okay, so you got a Teferi and an Abrupt Decay. Teferi's pretty good here. It's actually pretty irritating. The Abrupt Decay is going to be able to kill my shark if I try to ambush Niv Mizzet with a shark. 2, 4, 6, 8. And Teferi's going to be able to bounce the Uro. I think I just want to get an Uro trigger right now, because the Uro may very well end up in my hand. What is this? You're Abrupt Decaying the Uro now. That's fine. Sure. But that means that the Abrupt Decay is not going to kill my shark, which is good. Which is very good. So I'm going to do nothing and make a 6/6 shark. Yep, so everyone's going to cast the Teferi, opponent's going to bounce the shark, which they're going to think is good, because Teferi normally wouldn't let me cast anything, but Shark Typhoon is not casting anything, because Shark Typhoon is, like so many other things, a messed up Magic card. Trade. Cool. like to be able to do something about that fairy. It's a Nahiri. That's irritating. It's actually not good. What am I going to do about that? Probably escape an Uro is a good first thing to do. Escape Uro. What do I draw? Breeding pool. Put that in. 2, 4, 6. I think I can afford to put that in untapped. I can go and attack with this Murderous Rider. No, attack Nahiri. It'll gain me 2 life even if they block with the Caryatid, which I expect them to do. That's fine. I'm going to draw a card in case it's an Eat to Extinction. It is not. Yes, I actually want that untapped because I want to draw another card. Okay. Then I'll play another Uro. Choose one to keep. This one. Nope. Oop. Okay. This match is taking forever. I need to worry about my clock still, although I'm at least kind of close to my opponent. Can I replicate this to Fairy for as much good as that will do anybody? I can Fatal Push the Voice of Resurgence to be able to get through, assuming there's no more creatures. Of course, you just went in and drew another Niv-Mizzet. Lucky. Good grief. Are you choosing the Scarab God or Enter the God Eternals? You chose the Scarab God, as would make sense. You also have an Utter End. This is kind of silly. F6, I don't know why it keeps giving my priority. Utter End the Uro, sure. So, Scarab God, how exactly does this work? You, like, when it dies, return it to its owner's hand. Okay, so I need to find an Eat to Extinction in addition to everything else? Okay. Blocking. Unfortunately, Liliana will probably not be killing Niv-Mizzet this turn. You know, the play might just be make a big shark. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. My opponent has a very large graveyard, so I don't want to play Liliana Plus because my opponent will discard an Uro. I mean, I could let my opponent alt Nahiri 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I would make a 9/9 shark. Problem is that my opponent is going to make a Scarab God. How do I deal with my opponent making a Scarab God? I could find an E to Extinction. Does this thing get haste? It gains haste, return it to your hand. So my opponent presumably just attacks with the Niv Mizzet. Gets another Niv Mizzet trigger. I think I'm just going to make a 9/9 shark. There's definitely a lot of ways I could have played this. Cycle, sure. Uro is also a pain in the neck. If /1 my opponent ever gets to that. So I can ambush this Niv Mizzet now. My opponent can just Nihiri to get another one. Which just gets another Niv trigger and a Niv in hand. I think this is still fine though. I mean, it's the whole, the whole thing of point of what I was doing. Okay, block. Okay, Niv down. That's 3 Nivs down. I'm also now threatening to kill either Planeswalker. I still don't know what I'm doing about the Scarab God. I mean, having a 9/9 flyer in play is really good, and I have 6 cards in my hand. Like, I can do a lot of stuff. Like, my opponent can get Nihiri. My opponent can Nihiri for a Niv, get another Niv trigger, put the Niv back in hand to get another Niv trigger. That Teferi is really bad. Now things look bad. I can at least Abrupt Decay the Neferi. My opponent's going to loot again. I really need to draw like an E to Extinction for this Nihiri. Actually, well, the other issue is the Scarab God in hand, which I do not have a clean answer to. Traverse for another Murderous Rider, I think, is a line. Yeah. Okay, Traverse for... No, I only have 2 cards in my graveyard. 2 card types in my graveyard. I have Creature Enchantment. I can sack a Fabled Passage, and I can push a Voice. Okay. So I go sack Fabled Passage, push something, Traverse for... Swift End, Nihiri, Abrupt Decay Teferi, maybe? Okay, I'm definitely going to do all that. So let's start with that. We'll do that. We'll push Voice. That's 4 types, so we'll... Yeah, that's fine. Traverse. Hey, King Mudkips. Glad to see people following me. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Oh, Emrakul. That is also an option. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I can cast an Emrakul. And I can, like, -8 the Nihiri to do nothing. Ooh. My opponent has a Scarab God. What can I do with a Scarab God? Ooh. Screw it, we're just gonna do it. So I need 8 mana to cast this. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have 2 mana left over. So I can Abrupt Decay the Teferi. And then Emrakul. Okay. Now what? I also have no idea what this UI is going to look like. Okay, so I have... Ooh, man. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, I think I definitely just want to do this. What are my options here? Deal 4 damage to a creature, so I can kill... I would really like to kill Nahiri. I can Hour of Devastation. Well, these are the things I can get. I can also just, like, opt to not find anything, which I think is probably what I want to do. But I can also bring to life for something, and so I'm trying to figure out what I want to bring to life for. It's honestly probably Hour of Devastation, which kills Nahiri. It kills my Murderous Rider, but that's fine. Yeah, okay. I still don't know. I wish there was a way I could exile the Scarab God. When the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. There's no way I can, like, discard a card. No, okay. Alright, well, I'll figure that out. So we're done here. And then we are attacking this and this into this and this, which is fine. Yeah, and then you get a thing. That's fine. That's fine. Then we're casting Spring to Light for green, black, blue, white, red. Done. Okay. Cast Hour of Devastation. Cast. Okay. Okay. And then I guess I want to put this into play so my opponent can't cycle it. And then there's a Scarab God that I need to deal with. Okay. Well, that was interesting. And I'm acutely aware of the time on the clock, as is becoming tradition with my games, which is whatever. I'll deal with it. Yep, there's a Scarab God. And my opponent can also reanimate something. My opponent can reanimate a Niv Mizzet. I've seen their deck, though. There's not that much left to get. And, like, I might honestly just be able to, like, kill the Scarab God over and over again? Question mark? Also, like, I'm attacking with a 13/13. Yeah, okay, so you get that. You get a Voice, you get a Dreadbore, and you get an Uro. So, like, green, one, no, cancel. I don't want to do this yet. I want to play Liliana first. That was close. I want to play Liliana. I want this Niv Mizzet to die. Then I can escape this arrow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. Done. Actually, I could have fatal pushed that. I should have killed the Scarab God and fatal pushed the token. I'll fatal push some other token. That's fine. Put that into play. Ooh, 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 this is really good. This can exile things that the Scarab God would be doing. So now I can attack with Emrakul. My opponent can Dreadbore, but I can exile what the Scarab God is doing right now. Yes. Fortunately, Emrakul does not have protection from Dreadbore. My opponent is escaping an Uro. No. So my opponent is Scarab Godding something, I'm eating it. They could have... Oh, they drew End of the God Eternals. Crap. Okay, well, let's... what do I not want my opponent to be buying back with? I can eat an Uro. That's probably the best thing to be doing. Because there's no other Uro to eat. And I can also eat... I don't think I care about Niv Mizzets at this point. But my opponent is going to amass 4, which is fine. I can fatal push that. Then I can attack with the Uro. My opponent doesn't have to chump block anymore, though. It's a voice. Okay. Okay. Tomb, no. Uro. Oh, choose one to keep. That's fine. Keep that one. Then put triggers on the stack. Yeah, Emrakul was dead to the Dreadbore because Emrakul is protected from instants, but Dreadbore is a sorcery. No. And I play this Jace. I don't know why things are going slowly. I fatal push that. I plus Liliana. Do I attack? I'm not really trading anything away, so I don't think so. Man, mid-range mirrors. I really need to find... Actually, I should have drawn a card to try to find an Eat to Extinction. It's really awkward to do that now because of the voice resurgence. I should probably actually just do this, like... now, question mark? This looks like... Oh, my opponent did have an Uro. Did they have that Uro when I had Scavenging Ooze? No, they must have milled it with End of the God Journals. Okay, you got an Uro. I'm gonna crack these clues now so that I can F6. These cards are not useful. F6. This is a Scarab God getting something back. Getting a Niv back. Is this Niv gonna find anything? Found it to Fairy. That's a Fairy. I really wish there was a line that I had that could have gotten rid of the Scarab God with the Emrakul. I didn't see anything, but I'm wondering if I missed anything. Don't need to block right now. I can block flashback a Fatal Push on something. Probably just delaying the inevitable. Sure, put them on the battlefield. Push that. Loot with Jace, escape an arrow. Discard this. Sure, cast this. Oh, this is like... This is not CMC 0. Interesting. Good to know. Cycle? Eat to extinction? Alright, escape arrow, I guess. Sort of just clicking on 5 random cards. Pretty sure I'm just dead here. Like, my time is low enough that I'm pretty sure I can't win a second game. But I also need to win this game so that I can try to outtime my opponent. Yeah. This is a crazy game. I also, like, I have 2 Eat to Extinctions. And they're, I guess, in the bottom 12 cards of my deck. Like, is there a way I still win this? If I eat the Scarab God... and then flashback eat on a Niv miss it? I guess the Niv hit the Jace. So that's not happening. My opponent was at 3, like, a little while ago, after the Emrakul hit. Since then, 4 arrows have come into play. There's my eat. Been looking for you. I mean, I guess I can still lose this game and try to time out my opponent. Yes. Cast this blue. I hate the Eat to Extinction. Probably shouldn't have done that. I cannot click 5 cards in my graveyard. Come on. Done. Timing is key. I mean, yeah, this time. Is this another 8 to Extinction, maybe? Nope. Plus on that. F6. Try to drain some time from my opponent's clock. At this point, my opponent attacks me for, if I chump block, 10. They might not attack with the arrow, though. They may just attack with the flyer, sure. Can't block that. J's down. Just trying to make my opponent click on things. Also, my opponent has 6 cards in their deck. Like, I guess it's not completely impossible that, it's not completely impossible they deck out. I would need to be, like, drawing and casting spells, though. Alright. This match is just a race to not time out. Which, like, if I make my opponent attack me, like, 8 times with the 4/4 flyer, like... Maybe I should actually be casting these, 1/1s, just to chump block. I'm just F6ing until my opponent kills me. I just want my opponent to have to spend seconds attacking me. Oh, I could play Atris and make my opponent have to do stuff. This is, like, not the way you, like to win a game, but I'm feeling petty right now. I'll take it. Look at my cards, split them into piles. I'm gonna take whatever this pile is. Oh, they gave me an Eat to Extinction. I probably should have taken that. Oh, also now I'm gonna mill out first. Because I played the Atris. I wonder if that's why my opponent wasn't attacking, because they were going to draw cards with the Uro. I don't know why my clock is ticking down. I'm F6'd. Alright. Whatever. Let's sideboard. Game 2. What would I even want to do in this? I guess I probably want to bring in Assassin's Trophies. Abrupt Decays, probably very minimal things. Scavenging Ooze is good-ish. Mystical Dispute could counter and Niv or Bring to Light. Really seems fairly weak. Fatal Push is pretty dull. Sure, I don't really know what's in here, but I'll keep it. It's times like this when you're like struggling to play stuff that like, is my opponent also just F6ing? It's like probably not an unreasonable thing to do. Like if it's literally a question of who can press F6 faster. Like, I guess I'm not going to win the game in 59 seconds. I do seem to be gaining time on my opponent, slightly. I wonder if I Assassin's Trophy their land, they have to, like, go search for another one. Alright, whatever. I'm off it. Have your win. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it just becomes this silly game where, I mean, if this were, like, you know, a challenge or something, or a actual something with stakes on it, I would have, like, you know, just jammed the F6 button as hard as I could have. But, I mean, you hate to win a match that way. And, like, I could tell my, like, if my opponent was doing what my opponent should have, and we had equally good internet connections, then, like, they're going to hit F6 as fast as I can, and they had enough more time left than me that I was going to time out first. Really, like I should take this as a, like, I need to play faster in general. It's also just, like, not fun to jam the F6 button, whereas, like, I would really rather, like, play actual games of Magic where I'm, like, looking at my hand and being like, do I want to keep this hand or not? And, yeah. Like, here I'm going to go Wayfinder into Uro. Unless I need to Abrupt Decay something. This could be, like, the Wilderness Wreck deck we played earlier. They seem to not have a second land. Or they're just waiting until their second main to cast things. Nope, they don't have another land. Interesting. Well, we're going to play that. No land. That's terrifying. Sure, stuff. Did my opponent keep a one-land hand? My opponent kept a one-land hand. Sack the Uro. Put Breeding Pool in. One more land lets me escape Uro. I almost might, like, go untapped Overgrown Tomb, Fatal Push the Grazer, just so I can escape the arrow this turn? Which is probably the line, yeah, like I should like capitalize on this here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Also, like, any deck that's running Arboreal Grazer is probably not gonna have that many fatal pushable creatures that I care that much about. I don't have a land to put into play. Swing for 1. Double cast. Is this like... There's like a Rel... Isn't there like some sort of Rel-Zarek combo deck where you like... You like cast a spell and you double cast it and Rel-Zarek copies it or something and you like repeatedly double cast the same double cast? Is this that combo deck? I guess I probably want Mystical Disputes. Like I said, any deck that's running Arboreal Grazer, I probably don't want Fatal Pushes against. I probably want Trophy over Decay in that case. I don't, Duress is probably also decent. I don't really know how to sideboard here, so I'm just sort of doing things. Yeah, yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly how the cards work, so I don't remember exactly like what all it does. So these are 2 tapped lands. And so my mana's going to be awful. Like, there's just no way I talk myself into keeping this, right? It also, like, doesn't have any Thought Seizers or something for, like, interacting with a combo deck. It has a Mystical Dispute, but it seems like a bad hand. This is only a 1-lander. But I'm on the draw. I can, like, play Triumph tapped, and the next turn I can, like, traverse for, something. Thought Seize. Like, I have Thought Seize. I have interaction in Thought Seize. I can play a Jace. I'm not going to be able to play the Jace until turn 3. But, like, this hand actually does some things. So I think I can keep it. And, like, this is all even if I just don't draw lands. Like, if I draw lands, this hand is fine. It's a really awkward curve if I don't draw lands, but it still functions. There's quite a lack of red lands that I'm seeing for a deck that is running double cast. So I'm definitely... Well, am I definitely playing this Fable Passage? Yeah, I think so. I'm playing this Fable Passage, and I'm traversing for... I want to get an island and a forest with these. I think. Forest, crack, island. It is awkward that I'm not going to have double black for Murderous Rider, but I don't know that Murderous Rider is going to hit anything right now. And I hate to be fetching swamps because they don't escape Burrow. Thespian Stage. Strategic planning. Is this a Lotus Field? Okay. Okay, well that's interesting. In that case, I kind of feel like I need to leave up. So, what actually got banned? It was it was Breach that got banned, right? Like, this deck can still exist without Breach. Huh. Okay, so I see two lines. One is I Thoughtseize and cast Jace. The other line is I hold up Assassin's Trophy and Assassin's Trophy the Thespian stage. If my opponent tries to Thespian stage the Lotus Field. Breach, Ballista, Inverter, Kethis. Yeah. So, I mean, clearly my opponent still has Lotus Field. Like, this deck existed before Breach was printed. So I guess they're just playing an old version. I don't think they can only go off with one field, so I think the play is do nothing, Assassin's Trophy their Thespian stage. Next turn, Thoughtseize Jace, or like Thoughtseize Uro. Thoughtseize something. Okay, sure. Yeah, now you try to do that. And now I do this. Ooh. Okay, let's start with the Thoughtseize. Okay. I think I just duress all of this away. Like, this seems like exactly what you want to be doing. Next turn I can Thoughtseize the other one away. I mean, you can pour, well, you're going to cast the other Pour of the Pages now, which is fine. Oh, you're going to dig. Okay, okay. Double cast, so what is double cast in this deck for? Does it just, oh, you're waiting for me. Does it just double cast, like, Pour of the Pages as you're going off? I guess. Okay, it's another Lotus Field. Okay. Well, let's loot. Let's just put this Blooming Marsh in the graveyard. Let's flash back a Thoughtseize. Maybe I should have put Uro in the graveyard so I could have escaped the Uro faster. That may have been better. Try to close the door. I think that was better. Thoughtseize you. Mystical Dispute. Dig again. Okay. Like, is this gonna get there? What does this card do? Expansion Explosion. That's what they actually win with. I assume this is supposed to be Pour of the Pages. Like, what they're trying to do is they're trying to Pour of the Pages double cast, and if they get if they have a land, they can do that. Maybe I'm supposed to take the double cast. No, I think I take the pour over the pages. Because Expansion Explosion is also just a double cast, so I think I take the pour. It's scary what combo decks can do. Yeah, put this in. Play this. Just crack it now. Sure. Go ahead. Okay. Sure, hidden strings for mana. And then you get to dig and copy it, right? That's how this works? So you have 10 mana? Yeah, so you can just do it outright without even delving anything. Jeez. They can even expansion it, too. Unless they... I don't know how many expansion explosions they run. Oh, you're just going to expansion explosion to refill your hand. Okay. Sure, I guess that's good. So I get to escape an Uro. That'll win in like 4 turns. Is that good? That didn't do anything. What are we exiling here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a land card in the battlefield. Sure. No. The real fun thing is going to be if I get to, at some point, probably not this game, but in game 3, if I get to resolve the Emrakul trigger and then kill them with their own deck. That would be pretty fun. Seems unlikely because in order for me to live long enough to cast an Emrakul, I probably need to do all sorts of hand disruption, shenanigans. It's probably not going to leave my opponent with enough cards in hand to go off with. Well, I mean, I guess they're going off now. I don't know that I would know this deck well enough to know how to go off. I mean, make a lot of mana and untap all your stuff, and I don't know. I can't say I like my chances. Like, my opponent got to double dig. Or no, my opponent... What did they even do? They double expansion. So they drew a whole new hand. We don't know if the hand is doing anything. I mean, it's doing things. This is their graveyard. I don't know why I have it pulled open. Okay, well I get another turn anyway. Is that relevant to anything? Put that in play because I can cycle the Triome. I mean, I guess I probably should have eaten the Grazer. I'll just go ahead and cast this. Doesn't actually speed my clock up, but no reason not to play it. And charge up Blast Zone. I guess that's sort of a reason not to play it. I don't even really actually even have enough cards in my graveyard to escape the arrow if they Blast Zone it. Man, tired. I'm not liking my chances here. I feel like they've drawn enough cards that they should be able to have something going on here. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe I tore their hand apart enough that they don't. That doesn't actually fetch any lands. Fine. It's another card in the graveyard for maybe an Uro. If they crack this Blast Zone for 3, I probably eat to extinction my own Murderous Rider to be able to quote-unquote surveil. I should have eaten the Arboreal Grazer, but water under the bridge now. I'm kind of glad that this is apparently all my opponent can do. Like, they clearly have all the mana they need. I guess they just don't have the cards to do anything with it. Still seem to not have it. Sure, well, I'll attack first. You're gonna do this, that's fine. And then I am actually gonna eat this to, in essence, scry 1. I don't need that. Yes, put it in the graveyard. That's fine. And then I can escape the arrow, or I can play Liliana. I mean, Liliana Plus makes my opponent discard a card. I can't imagine that's good enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would definitely like to be doing that. I really don't know the deck well enough to know, like, because like against Storm, like Modern Storm, like just hitting incremental cards is valuable. They're doing stuff. Hitting just like, you know, bringing them down from like 7 cards down to like 4 or 5 is valuable because they need a critical mass of cards. It's not like an A plus B combo deck. And I feel like this deck is a deck where you need a critical amount of cards, so like just making them discard a card here and a card there is pretty valuable. Here, I don't know if they're just desperate to try to go off, or if they're actually think they have a good chance. They're certainly trying to go off. Okay, there's the Ral. So how exactly does this work? When you cast your next instant sorcery, you copy it. And so they copy it. They cast it. They need another one though, right? So they copy the expansion. What are they choosing to copy? Changes the target expansion to expansion. Puts the triggered ability from... Alright. I mean, I can tell I'm beat. I'm not entirely sure I understand. Copy target... So, this expansion... This expansion is targeting this expansion. And so they copy... Right, okay. They have to set up expansion targeting expansion. But so what is... I'm not sure I understand what the double cast does. Is it just that you need... The first expansion has to have something to copy to be on the stack at all? Because you... So, expansion is on the stack targeting double cast. You're casting double cast, which is just whatever. It's a spell. You're casting expansion targeting double cast, and you... But this is... Oh, because they only had one expansion. So you cast this expansion targeting the double cast, and the double cast... The previous double cast that you cast triggers, which causes you to copy the expansion. Okay, I think I get it. That's something. Okay, so now that I know what's going on... Tormod's Crypt shuts off, can shut off somewhat of a dig through time, but not that relevant. I could bring in a Traverse. Abrupt Decays are not doing anything. Otherwise, I think this all seems fine. I could bring in the Traverse, but I don't think it's better than any of this. Maybe it's better than... No, Emrakul I can kill my opponent with their own deck. I may not need the Ishkana. Traverse might be better than Ishkana. I mean, this makes 6 power of stuff. That's pretty okay. Maybe I don't need the Atris. Atris feels like a very grindy card. Alright. To go 2 and 3. Heartless Act. I probably didn't need this in the deck. This is 3 lands with no black that doesn't cast Thoughtseize. Doesn't seem good enough. This is sort of the same hand, except it has black to cast the Thoughtseize. So that seems good. Yeah, that seems good. I think I will... So is it worth playing the Thoughtseize on turn 1? I can keep this. My opponent mulled 6. Keep. What do I put on the bottom? Probably Traverse. I think... Yeah, I think Traverse. Shark Typhoon is something I'm going to apply pressure, which Traverse doesn't exactly do. I mean, the reason to wait on the Thoughtseize is that I want my opponent to draw more cards that I might want to Thoughtseize. You just don't want to let them do that too long. Against other decks, I would be concerned about shocking myself, but that's not really relevant in this matchup. I mean, I think I just want to take the actual combo pieces, right? It's also kind of unclear to me, like, is this an expansion explosion deck? Is this a Lotus Field deck? Are they the same deck? Are they just sort of smushing these things together? That bit is sort of unclear to me. I would really like to cast this Liliana and start just plussing it forever. I think now is not the time for this Ishkana. I want to play this. I'd really like to hit an untapped land so I can play Liliana. guess I don't quite want to have 6. There's a Lotus Field. And I know my opponent has a Thespian Stage. So I kind of want to leave this Assassin's Trophy up. There is the untapped land. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I am going to loot. I don't need the Sitter Wayfinder. So I can play this Liliana, but I really don't want to lose either of these cards. I want to be able to Assassin's Trophy the Thespian Stage. But I also want to start plussing the Liliana. And if I cast the Liliana, I'm not gonna have time to trophy the Thespian Stage. Maybe I just trust that Liliana plussing is gonna be good enough. Okay, here we go. I'll also be able to Thoughtseize them this turn. And make a 1/1 shark. Like, yeah, they're gonna be able to copy the Lotus Field. They're not gonna be able to do much else. I'm gonna Thoughtseize them and Liliana them. I think I'll be okay. Sure. That's a cool card. Okay, so we're gonna loot. I think we're just gonna discard this Triome. We're gonna Thoughtseize you. We're going to... we're gonna do this first. Done. Actually, maybe I wanted to leave another island up. No, that's fine. We're gonna plus this. Discard this. Okay. Then we're gonna Thoughtseize you. Pour over the pages, hidden strings. Okay, I mean, I guess it has to be pour over the pages. If I had another blue up, I could dispute the first pour over the pages, but that doesn't get to happen. Okay. What does Liliana's ult do? I like get a bunch of creatures back at the beginning of combat in your turn. Put a creature from a graveyard on the battlefield in your control. Just to say, basically, Ishkana. That's 2 pour over the pages. I think they still have a hidden strings in their hand. I think I actually should have not made this shark and left it with the Mystical Dispute. Are you just gonna get off a huge explosion? Great. Draw 9 cards. What even? Okay. No, this wasn't my fault because I should have had the Mystical Dispute up. This 1/1 shark is not relevant to anything. I didn't need to spend the mana doing that. I could have countered their Pore Over the Pages. I mean, I guess I get to Thoughtseize them? Okay, so if they go like Pore Over the Pages expansion, then I get to get them by disputing. So I guess I take the Dig Through Time. I mean, Dig Through Time is probably the pick anyway. Unless the pick is Pore Over the Pages. No, I mean they have as much mana as they want with Vizier. So I really can't cut them off of mana, and the main thing Pore Over the Page is scary because it's giving them mana, but Dig Through Time just gives them the most selection. So I should be taking Dig Through Time. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you can pay for dispute through this. They didn't see the dispute for some reason, did they? Or are they just playing around it well? Yeah. Yeah, I think they might have got me. If they let me untap, I get to Thoughtseize again, but I think they're at a point where they're going to be able to play around the Mystical Dispute. It's just a matter of seeing if they forget about it or not. Hidden Strings, yep. All this after game 1 where they kept an Arboreal Grazer hand with 1 land. Well, what is this? They're floating all their mana. Okay, you have a 3rd Lotus Field. I guess they have some more untapping to do. 9 mana. Double cast, sure. Explosion for 3. So they still get to copy it, even if I dispute it. They're both hitting me. Okay, well if this resolves, I don't get... I can't Thoughtseize. And I think I definitely want to Thoughtseize. So... I mean, it's trading a speed for 3 cards. Which is about as much as I can hope for. At this point, though, unless I draw Uro, course I don't draw Uro. I'll spit some cards in my graveyard, see if I spit anything I can flash back with Jace that would be any more relevant. Nope. Okay, well, we're going to Thoughtseize you. Oh, wow, you have, like, nothing. I guess I take your 1/3. That cycles. Okay, well, could really use an Uro now. Sure. I mean, my opponent is just going to thin their 17-card deck. I assume they'll still win this, unless I find more disruption. Or, like, an Uro to dramatically reduce the clock. That was a scry to the bottom, so that's fine. That was a scrying. That's a scrying. Where did the other scrying come from? I lost track of what all this is. That's fine. The Boreal Grazer cuts my clock in half. Okay. Botanical Sanctum into play. Thespian Sage becomes another Lotus Field. Okay. Don't have an Uro in my graveyard hiding somewhere that I didn't notice, do I? Nope. Okay, my opponent found a Blast Zone. I'm drawing nothing but gas. By gas, I mean lands. Because you can't cast any of your spells if you don't have any lands. Hence, your lands are gas. Charge the Blast Zone up to 2. Sack your Blast Zone. No. Sure. Come on, Uro. I should have attacked first. Now my opponent gets to blow up both of my 1/1s. I was just looking for an Uro. Yeah, that's fine. Ooga booga. I'm, like, curious if my opponent has the ability to kill me left in their deck. I assume they have more expansion explosions, which is another reason I would really like to draw an Uro. Like, if they draw expansion explosion, I die. Even Ral will kill me pretty quickly. Sure. Like, it might actually be Sylvan Scrying if it, like, thins their deck more. I'm not sure. I'm 29 cards into my deck and I haven't found an Uro yet. This strikes me as highly implausible. Unlucky. Like, what all is in my deck that would be good? Uros would be good. Traverse for Uro would be great. Jace would be fine. Even Murderous Rider would gain me life. Scavenging would be great. Shark Typhoon would be great. So many things here that would be great. I just wish I knew it was in my opponent's deck. Well, that's gotta be bad. Did they find another one? If they don't have a win condition left in their deck, well, that's gonna find them anything they want. So either I die right now, or maybe they scoop. They're taking their time to choose. Blue. Okay, they're hard casting a Vizier. Okay. So I just need to find an answer to a Vizier, apparently. There's an answer to a Vizier. Alright. Well, cool, I guess. Well, that's Reed Duke's Sultai Delirium deck for you. Again, I cheaped out because of Mana Traders, and I'm running 4 Tormod's Crypt instead of 4 Leyline of the Void, which I definitely saw a lot of places where I would rather have had the Leyline of the Void. Otherwise, I mean, we finished 2-3. One of those matches was actually twice I timed out, I think, if I remember correctly. I know I timed out against Niv-Mizzet. I think I timed out once earlier, too. Or at least, like, close to it. So I definitely think this deck is solid. It definitely needs to be continually tuned as to wherever the meta's going. I saw in the mirror... No, sorry. I didn't time out. I was going to time out, but I lost anyway. Right. That was the mirror match. I'd be interested in trying like some Ashioks. I saw my opponent that was in the mirror. They were running Ashiok instead of Liliana, or maybe in addition to. And I've seen that in the few lists too. But the meta is definitely seeming pretty mid-rangey focused right now, between Niv-Mizzet and this deck. So if that's the sort of deck you want to be playing, this is what Reed Duke likes. So that's Reed Duke Sultai.